If it hurts, you ain't the brakes, no get you, double it up, put on more steam. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. All obstacles, block, cut, sides, through the game, tap, this win it is. Press you again, we're here for the first mate. Carry my team down 6 minutes.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
All I know is go Vols, because that's all I know. Go Vols!
Just making sure that the little things are taken care of, like getting our cleats in the dirt and just playing.
What we have to do is make sure that we got our cleats in the ground before the ball is snapped. I think that's the key to the game, and make sure that
just get our cleats in the ground, execute calls, the urgency of communicating and getting lined up.
Yeah, you got to get your cleats in the ground and you got to go play.
Oh my God, we should leave it at that.
Okay.
We should close with that. That is the mind blower of mind blowers.
Good.
We jumped on our plane, rode in on our buses.
Yeah!
And Wayne and hit him in the mouth.
Yeah!
Hey, who was the pick six? Cole. Where Josh Joseph?
Yeah, it's us!
Bye week is a work week when it's time to work. We got to get healed up, but mentally we got to get better to go be our best. And we got a chance to be a great team. All right? We got to make the choices that make the difference to do that. Everybody got me? Yes, sir.
But you know what? Let's talk a little Vols. That is not me trying to take any shine away from the phenomenal channel Talkin VAWLS and my guy Boogie Bentley runs. So shout out to them. But let's talk a little Vols here.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name's Boogie Bentley. The boys are here. Coach Jay's in the house. Dauber is here. Falminga's here. Scoop. I love Scoops every time like the intro's playing. Like everybody else is geared up, ready to go. Like they're dialed in, they're focused, they're looking at the screen, maybe looking at notes, maybe taking a sip of coffee or bourbon, depending on what time it is. Scoops is like back there in his closet, like he's vacuuming his room. It's like, bro, I get it. The intro's long. What are you doing, Scoops? Are you picking out your outfit for tomorrow? What are you doing back there in that closet?
Nah, just grabbing some essentials, fired up, focused, prepared, get some antsy talking about Tennessee football. We're ready to go. It's ready to talk some Vols, and happy to be here.
It's the freaking bye week, man. It's the bye week. Like, Dauber, what do you do? What do you do on the bye week? Are you watching random games on Saturday? Are you going to be on the softball field ignoring everything?
I will be in Memphis, so I'm
sorry.
What I'm get up to.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The hottest place on the face of God's earth, Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah.
It hits different. Unlike California where your internet goes out. What's going on, Coach? You don't have a bye week. You got a game coming up on Saturday?
Yeah, you could say that. I certainly do. Little night game, little night cooking. Seeing if we can make it 4 ando, dare I say. We're talking in the back room about a little confusion about not a new team. It was a new staff last year, so it was kind of like a year zero coaching year. When you kind of blow it up, start over, and tough year last year, but undefeated off the tick, going for 4-0, and yeah, looking forward to it, man. Super excited about another week, another challenge. It just kind of ramps up as our schedule goes on, and it continues to get more and more challenging. So another big one in front of us, and then a big one right past that, and then another big one. And actually, after that, we go back to the team we played this past Saturday. So,
wait a minute. You're looking at the schedule ahead. You're looking ahead to future opponents. You're not just trying to win this week. You're not just focused on them. Yeah. What are we doing? You said you didn't give up a first down until the third quarter. You gave up a first down in the third quarter. Oh, fourth quarter. Yeah. That's why we're starting a petition to fire you, because you suck as a defensive analyst. We don't allow first downs around here. That's not.
Well, Boogie, the poor DB that gave up that last touchdown curses your name for having you bring that up to me, because the whole practice I was going, "You're running, baby." Boogie Bentley said it's unacceptable. So get ready to do some gassers, and just know there's some kid in Southern California right now who, if he hears the name Boogie Bentley, he's like, "Son of a stupid."
Oh, just add him to the list, Coach.
Yeah,
just add him to the list of people that hate me. I'm working on a list. Let's see if we can expand it to the West Coast.
We'll expand the list. But yeah, no. As you mentioned, 10-3 at half, finished out strong, 27-10, and really proud, man. Got to lift the old rivalry trophy, and I've got a question myself, because this wasn't like this last year. Like, since we played the same team twice in one season, is that trophy on the line again? I don't know, man. The confusion that is Division III college football proceeds, but I digress, and we can talk about Tennessee football, I guess.
Val, what are you cooking up this weekend? What are you doing? You watching? Are you pulling for Diego Pavia, or are you pulling for Ty Simpson on Saturday?
Took the words right out of my mouth, man. I'm just cruising through this week. It's almost like having a week off from work. You can just relax. I don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to look up and see some stats of a team I don't care about. Look up some players I'm never going to watch again. I don't have to worry about that. So all eyes on Tuscaloosa right now. As much as I hate to say it, I mean, if you're going to be an SEC fan, if you're going to be in this league, you got to have to keep up with what's the hot topic. And we face both those opponents down the road. So regardless of the outcome, I'm interested to see just what kind of team they got. We've seen Bama up and down. We've seen so much that pains me to say. We've seen Vandy cruising, and but we're going to see when they hit a road bump here what they can really do. So I know this is all Vol talk, but right now we're kind of in the passing lane here. We're kind of just cruising on. Got cruise control kicked on. We've handled business as far as we're supposed to. We've done everything we're supposed to do up to this point. We almost did something we hadn't done before and should have done, but let's not just open that wound just yet. We'll talk about it tonight, I'm sure. But I think we're right where I expected us to be. How we've got there, as far as schematically how we've gotten there, has been a little bit of a surprise, but mostly good surprises. So yeah, man, I'm just excited to kind of get a glance back, see what you guys think, see what surprised you, and see what you think's coming up next.
Who are we pulling for in Vanderbilt and Alabama? Like, I really don't know who. Like, I kind of want Vanderbilt to win, but I'm also, Scoops, I'm sick and tired of hearing Diego Pavia talk. Like, I almost don't want them to win just because of him.
Yeah, and I mean, you saw what today? Like, I think the quote came out from CeeLo over there on 3, talking about, the crowd's going to be the biggest factor, but if we go out there and play our ball, keep it within the white lines, this game, quote unquote, it won't be close, Pavia said. And that's just, we've seen one quarterback in Tommy Castellanos at Florida State, talk about Alabama and go out and back it up, but having Pavia go out there and do it, given Vanderbilt's success in the special season so far, it's going to be interesting to see. I got a family connection from like my past uncle, so he was a big Vandy fan. So I kind of want to see the black and gold go out there and shock him in Tuscaloosa. But yeah, man, that crowd's going to be a factor. It's going to be a crazy environment. If I would have told y'all to begin the season, man, we're going to be on a bye week, sitting back, chilling, 4-1, and we're going to be watching, a college game day, going and covering a freaking Vanderbilt football game, man. It's absolutely crazy. So, props to them and the success that Clark Lee's having. But, and with my orange-colored glasses, I hope they both lose.
Yeah, I don't really know, man. Ty in the chat says, bro, we want Bama to be the biggest game possible when we play. I want everybody to lose. Keep stacking losses on Bama. Keep stacking losses. If Georgia can get another loss, great. Let's let them all lose. The good thing is we play both of them. So at the end of the day, you kind of control your destiny. I'm just talking from an outside perspective. Dauber, do you have a dog in that race? I don't know that I've hated anybody like I hate Diego Pavia, which is embarrassing, man. He plays for Vanderbilt. But it's like if you watch the SEC documentary on Netflix, it's like, man, what a prick. Like, he's just a prick. Awful.
He's definitely one of those dudes that if he's not on your team, he rubs you the wrong way. If he's on your team, you'd love him. Just because that, bravado, that swagger, that confidence that he plays with, cockiness, I guess, is the best way to put it. And when you're cocky, if you can back it up, it's great. The people that pull for you love you. But the people that you face and their fans, they're going to hate you. Just that's the way it goes. I mean, I'm with Scoops. Can they both lose?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd be down for both of them losing. That's for sure. I got no love for any of them, and I think we all anxiously await the day we get to see Tyree West annihilate Diego Pavia, much like he annihilated that Mississippi State quarterback. That'll be too sweet. So excited about interesting weekend. It's kind of. Are we going to see more coaching changes? Does Billy Napier make it past this game, right? This coming weekend? What do we get out of Bama and Vanderbilt? It's like, my gut tends to tell me that Bama just smokes them with revenge on their mind at home.
I agree.
I mean, I get it, but I get why people think Vandy could compete. And I think offensively, they could do some damage, but if Bama plays the physical game back-to-back that they played last week, I see Bama taking care of business there, I think.
Is this something as simple as clock management and time of possession here? I mean, I know that's been Vandy's go-to, but could they honestly, with what I mean, Bama's shown that they can give up some points, at least give up some yardage. Could Vandy just control? Could Vandy just control the ball? I mean, that's kind of what they did last year. But if anything, they've improved, and Bama slid a little. So I still expect Bama to win this game. I think the roster's just better. But I wonder if schematically, if they could just slug through this thing.
Maybe, but I think Bama could do the same back, I guess is all I'm saying. I don't see Vandy really stopping Bama either, I guess is what I'm saying.
Right. I could see, just that back and forth versus the only team that's really going to have splash plays, I think, would be Bama. So if you can keep that out of it, all of a sudden it turns into this dogfight that I'm not sure Bama wants, really.
Yeah. While we're on the topic of other teams, does anyone got Mississippi State covering the 14.5 at A&M?
A&M?
I see that.
A&M did not look great last week. And that was, I mean, they're a much better team than they played like last week. But I mean, if they fool around and score 16 points, Mississippi State's going to hang something on them.
And the one thing is that, State's going to have to do what we did this past week and go in a road environment where you're going to go play a full game, man. Kyle Field is, this one of the top 3 environments, in my opinion, behind, Neyland and some others. So I'm excited to see what they do, man. That Mississippi State team, we're going to talk about it. That team is a very good football team. I feel like, we shot ourselves in the foot a lot, but when they needed to go out there and execute, they did. When our D-line needed to go out there and execute, they did. We saw that, Tyree do that. But I think it's going to be a close game. And even though they took an L there in overtime, they're going to have some confidence that this season can be special for them. So, the glory of having a bye week, man, is just being able to see all the turmoil just break free and go crazy.
The difference in doing it in Starkville against Tennessee and going on the road, right, to Texas A&M. And when I know it's like it was the narrative all last week, playing on the road. And the more we see the parity in college football, that's why we're talking about this, man. That's why Vanderbilt can realistically go into Tuscaloosa and beat Alabama. It's why Vanderbilt basically blanked South Carolina. It's like anybody can beat anybody in this conference. And then when you start adding in going on the road, it's even that much more. That's why I just don't see Vanderbilt beating Alabama, because it is in Tuscaloosa. I just don't see them being able to go in to that environment and get a dub. Go ahead, Dauber. I cut you off.
No, I was going to say, Scoops was talking about Mississippi State having to go on the road, and I was just going to throw that. That's the same thing with Vandy. As well as they've played, given who they've played, and we say it all the time, you play who's on the schedule when it comes up. This is going to be the first real test for Vanderbilt. And we've said it week in and week out in the SEC is a gauntlet. And going on the road is as tough as it gets, regardless of where you go. And case in point is Alabama going to Nashville last year, to that high school field and getting beat. It's, man, I don't know. I'm glad that we kind of got that monkey off our back last week, and that narrative can kind of get kicked out the window. We talked about it Wednesday and then Saturday. It's not as big of a discrepancy as it's been made to be. Heupel's actually third, tied for third.
Right there, third or fourth.
Road wins. So it's the ones that he's lost, the way that they've lost, and the implications from losing those that kind of make it seem worse than it is. But I mean, it's going to be nice to even be on the road, taking care of some business, just kicking back and watching mayhem. I like to see mayhem when it doesn't involve us.
I think there's an interesting storyline brewing too, that I haven't heard too many people talk about yet. But so Colorado's 2-3, 0-2 in league play, right? They're going to get beat by Texas Christian at Texas Christian this week. They're going to lose to Iowa State too at home the following week. They're going to lose at Utah, proceeding that. So when they look up and they're, 2-6, 0-6 in league play, Dion going to get fired?
I mean, he's probably
going. We're talking Dion to Florida. We're talking Dion to Arkansas. Does Petrino hold on to this thing? We got a lot of questions here.
But with Travis, Shiloh, and Shador leaving like they did, the health scare and stuff like that, and now the questions at quarterback and all that stuff. I mean, the 1 foot out the door thing, you would think if he does want to coach when one of these job opportunities does come open, man, obviously he might try to jump on that. But I feel like the local love for Dion in that Colorado program here has been pretty silent here lately, if you know what I'm saying. So
it is
just overall, man. Yeah, but that's the thing I was going to say, man. Just the having the bye week, right? We talked about where we wanted to be and if how we expected where we were going to be in. And I kind of expected this, or obviously the Georgia game played a factor and stuff like that. But just overall, like on this bye week, looking at the conference, where this conference is right now, how stacked it is, to even talk about, Vanderbilt and Bama maybe being competitive is actually crazy. But it's just, how this thing is going to turn out, man, and where we are and where like people we didn't expect them to be, like A&M, LSU, Ole Miss even. It's just crazy how it is now, and trying to predict how it's going to turn out.
It makes it fun. I'm the last guy to say that it was going to be fun. I was like, no, let's not expand the college football playoff. And it's not just that. It's the NIL, it's the transfer portal that's creating this parity in college football. But I'm like, don't expand the playoff. And then last year I'm watching every single SEC game because it matters down the stretch. Like it just matters. I have to catch up with the chat. I never hit the super chats to open the show because we had 20 minutes of conversation. So let me catch up with you guys in the chat. We got 200 people watching on the bye week Wednesday. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. If you haven't, smash the thumbs up, share out the link, all that good YouTube stuff. We would appreciate it. Luke Thompson dropped a $2 super chat and simply says Dorothy. Shout out Luke. Brian Turner for $5. Says Dorothy GBO. Shout out, Brian. We appreciate you as well. Todd Landers for $2. Dorothy GBO. Stephen Parr for $2. Also says Dorothy LF GBO. Shout out, Stephen. Ken Fairclough for $2 says, what's up, fellas? GBO. What is up, Ken? It's good to see you in the chat. Old Smokey has been a member for 35 months. Adrian Wells has been a member for 30 months. We appreciate that. And speaking of members, I completely forgot the membership drive. We're trying to get members up around here. We need you guys to support this channel, and it's $1. You got $1? Anybody in the chat got $1? If you got $1, you got $1? Got $1? I thought you were poor. If you got $1, you can join this channel. Hit the join button down below. $1. If we get 35, have we done this? Yeah, we've given away a couple of shirts. If we get 35, you can gift them. You can join. We get 35, we'll give away some free merchandise. How about that? Vols girl for 10. Says Dorothy, now back to lurking. She shows up, she arrives, she pays the doorman, and then she goes and sits at a table in the back corner. We appreciate you, Vols girl. Ron the Dawn for 2. Says Dorothy, checking from work. GBO, let's go. Don't get fired, Ron. Don't get fired. Don't get fired on your day off, Smokey. Gregory C for 2. Shout out Gregory. And Wayne drops the 5 spot and says GBO. Thank you, Wayne. We appreciate you guys. The door fees, the super chats, the tips are all greatly appreciated. The chat's already going nuts again. Is the announcement coming? Will Boogie ever tell us the announcement? Hampton Quick says, yeah, what is the major announcement? The major announcement is you guys are going to have to continue to wait for the major announcement. I got to have a phone call. I've not had that phone call yet. As soon as that phone call takes place, you guys will know what the announcement is. But just go ahead and plan on the schedule changes. No live streams for the rest of the week because of the bye week. I'll be putting out videos. Sunday is now EA Sports College Football Night. We'll play college football. We'll hang out Monday morning with Kaner. Tuesday night we're eyeing Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time for a brand new show here on the Talkin VAWLS Network. Who's going to be here? I know. Coach knows. Our wives know. The mystery knows. That's about it. But that's what we're eyeing is Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Eric Jones for 2 says, Dorothy GBO. Go Vols. Shout out, Eric. We appreciate you in West Tennessee. VFL has been a member for 25 months. Hampton Quick says, I'd rather buy a shirt than donate. Well, you can do that. You go to bonfire.com/store/TalkinVols. We're good with that. Johnny Price for 5. Boogie, have you seen the video on Sports Talk Mississippi podcast and belly aching about so many Vol fans in Starkville? Well, maybe, I don't know, get a fan base. That's hilarious to me. That's hilarious to me. Yeah, exactly. So buy a ticket. Vol Fan for Life says, what? No fan calling? We're going to do the fan calling on Wednesday night. So we're going to do our regular Wednesday show, me, Scoops, Dauber, and X. If X is ever going to come back, we're going to do our Wednesday night show as always. At the end of that, maybe after an hour, we're going to open it up for a fan call in. Still going to do our tailgate show, all that type of stuff. It was either we switch it and we do this new show on Tuesday, or I get divorced because I never see my family because I stream every single night. So this was the best way to make that happen. West Tennessee VFL gifted a Talkin VAWLS membership. We appreciate you. That puts us at 34. 34 memberships, and we'll give away a free shirt. You guys just keep dropping the super chats. I'll ignore these 4, and I'll just read your super chats all night. Backflip Spaghetti for 10 says, feeling good and loving my Vols. Shout out Backflip Spaghetti. We appreciate you, my friend. Am I caught up? Yeah, we got Johnny, we got West Tennessee VFL, and we got Backflip Spaghetti. We appreciate you dudes. Let's talk about this football team. Let's talk about, the expectations going on. I think Fowl said it earlier. Coach, most people's expectations were Yeah, I think at this point in the season, we're probably going to be 4-1 with a loss to Georgia. I think that's what most people expected. Now, the way that Georgia game went down, maybe not what you expected. The way this thing has looked through 5 games, maybe not what you expected. But Coach, what like just your thoughts on this football team through 5 games?
I got to be honest. I was kind of bullish. I mean, even going back to when Nico was here, I think, a little more bullish on that Georgia game than a lot of Tennessee fans, just with how good Heupel's been at home. I always thought that we would have a true chance to win that game. So, I expected a big game out of them. We got a big game out of everybody. I don't know if I expected the amount of yards, obviously, we got out of Joey. That was a pleasant surprise in that game, but I expected a really good fight out of Tennessee in that game from the beginning. And I was at 9-3. As a matter of fact, that game was still so encouraging. I upped it, but I expected more of the trouble to come on the road. But seeing what I've seen and knowing that the defense is starting to get healthy, I still am bullish about what we can do. I mean, it's not going to be easy. There's still tough games, as you know, Oklahoma at home, Bama on the road. I don't care what anyone says. Florida, for some reason, will play a really good game at home against us. I think we beat them, but I think it's a tough game either way. Maybe some kind of ugly slog, but I still like us. I think I still have us up to lose 2 games only. But it's not going to be easy. Wouldn't surprise me to see us drop the extra game and go 9-3. But I think I've taken 8-4 completely off my table, barring some major injuries going on. So I'm happy with the season, and we just got to keep getting better. Like I've said on this podcast, I think we're a good team right now with a chance to become great. So we'll see if we can take that next step.
Are y'all still eyeing Florida as that third or that potential third, or are we start saying, yeah, it's on the road at Florida, but there's obviously Oklahoma is a better team, Vandy's a better team, even Arkansas has a better offense than Florida right now. So, but those are home games. So how much does that account? Are you more scared of a roster at home or an environment, on the road at Florida?
That's why it's so much easier to say I'm at 9-3 than it is to go through and pick, all right, this is a loss, and these are wins. And that's what drives me nuts. Like back in the preseason when people were saying, oh, this team's going 4-8. And I'm like, yeah. I mean, there's 8 games on the schedule that they can lose. Are they going to lose every one of them? Of course not, right? So it's like, Alabama, they can lose it. They can also win that game. Oklahoma at home is very losable. That's a game you can lose. You can drop. Florida, it's the swamp. It's crazy. You never know what's going to happen there. So for me, it's just the overarching theme of, well, there's several on the schedule that you can lose. Scoops, go ahead.
No, yeah, there's so many playing factors, man. Like with Oklahoma, when they come in, is Mateer going to be healthy? How many games does he have, since that thumb injury? I feel like this Arkansas game coming up, man, like we just found out that Sam Pittman's fired. You got Petrino in the boat. He's firing his OC. I mean, he's letting these people go and building his own staff right now. So how well put together is this staff? And I feel like that's a game that we want revenge for, but you obviously can't oversleep a mind like Bobby Petrino. So you want to take that serious. But I feel like the biggest question marks come on the road. Obviously under Josh Heupel, we saw that kind of get dealt with this week in Starkville. But yeah, man, I think it depends on where these teams are mentally. Is Billy Napier still down there in Gainesville? Is that program still there? Or is there a mass exodus in the portal with that talent? I mean, I'm surprised that he's honestly still there just to begin with right now. But maybe after this week against Miami, if they have a bad loss, they move on there. But it just depends, man. There's so many playing factors, and that goes back to my point about how stacked this conference is, because you can't just be like, oh, we're going 10-2 when you got to go out there every single Saturday and still win a football game. So I think this Saturday, a huge thing, a huge revenge factor, or next Saturday, fucking bye week. But I think that those guys will be fired up, and yeah, man, we'll see what happens. But I think if we go out there and play week in and week out and do our thing, that this team has a chance to go 10-2. But there's obviously you got to go and play football. You can't just especially against the talent you're playing in the SEC.
I don't know if this is too early in the conversation to get into it, but we all know Petrino's taking over the offense, and we don't know what we're going to get yet. You imagine it's some form of what we've seen, because you think he's been running the show on offense. We think. I don't know how much Sam Pittman's input was directly on the offense, but they've also changed his defensive staff. They had co-defensive coordinators, and both have been, I don't know if they've been dismissed or just demoted or what, but they're going to have a new defensive coordinator too. So if you're Josh Heupel and staff coming into this, you have no idea basically what you're going to see, that in itself could be worrisome.
I like the fact that they got rid of both defensive coordinators. Bring a new guy in. Create all new terminology. Let's try to learn a new defense in 2 weeks. That's hysterical to me. That's a stupid decision. I think that's a stupid decision. On the flip side of that, I don't like the fact that they fired Sam Pittman, because it's the same for me with Billy Napier. Dauber, when you fire a head coach going in the middle of the season, your team can respond one of two ways. Arkansas was hot garbage. I mean, Tennessee was going to win that game, and I still think they win that game, but their locker room can now respond positively. And I think Petrino, man, he's playing with house money. He can do. I saw a great conspiracy, by the way. I don't remember if it was in the comments or on social media somewhere that said Petrino completely threw Sam Pittman under the bus, like he was calling garbage offensive plays to get him fired because he knew he was taking over. But Dauber, they can respond one of two ways. So it's now a wild card situation going into that game.
I mean, you look at back a few years ago when we fired a coach and Chaney took over, and I think, was it a road game or a home game against Kentucky that ended up. We were a mess and ended up pulling that one out and taking the W. Yeah, sometimes a change in philosophy, mentality, leadership can galvanize a team and cause them to completely change their identity. But man, it's looking at that. Get through the bye week here, Arkansas, and then the back half. It's one of those things. You look at the remaining games, and we're at a point now where it is a case. Yeah, I mean, we can win every one of those games. We're not looking at the schedule and saying, yeah, that's definitely a loss. You look back, not too distant past, we were going through the schedule saying, that's a loss. That's a loss. I hope we can compete here. That's no longer the case. So I like where we're at. And I think, like Coach Jay was talking about, I think I've kind of shifted from that 9-3 kind of safety, based on what I've seen, 5 games into the season. I've been really surprised with Joey and the command he's had over this offense, the poise he's shown, going on the road, making the big plays he's made, the reads, just how well he runs this offense. The offense has been clicking, and I think we're truly running an offense like Josh Heupel wants to run. You've seen new wrinkles. You've seen these things that the tempo, it comes with that accuracy, the timing with receivers. Yeah, we've still had some drops, but I mean, you look at the way Chris and Staley have stepped up, the running back by committee. I think all three of those guys. I'm just waiting on one of them to break out and be the hot hand and hit $150 or something in a game. And just run out of their mind. But there are a few things, that this team still has to work on and improve. And like we've talked about, you've got some games on the road. That's been a bugaboo the last couple of years. It's can you hold serve at home, take care of business there? I don't think it's sneak a win on the road somewhere. We definitely can go down to Tuscaloosa and win. we have had the history of being the better team and losing to Florida. We've seen it year after year after year. Finding a way to Tennessee a ball game. How can we lose it? And Scoops nailed it. There's so many factors with multiple games that we still have remaining on the schedule to see the way they play out. And the big thing is, do we have any injuries? We've got guys coming back, and I think that's going to be really good, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But can we stay healthy? So moving forward, that's going to be a huge watch, and kind of a deciding factor for some of those games that could be a little bit kind of swing games.
Yeah, you got to stay healthy. I mean, like any one of us, anybody in the chat could probably name somewhere between 2 and 3 injuries that would cripple this team extremely greatly right now. Like, let me take a stab.
Oh, God, please don't.
No,
do
it's
this.
just
I was like, don't make me
It was a
do
joke.
it.
It was a joke.
I was like, is he leading somebody to do this right now?
But I mean,
I was
to your
hoping you'd
point,
walk
Coach.
into it, Boogie. I was hoping you'd walk into it.
To your point, Coach, I mean that's kind of every team, right? That's every SEC team, especially. And to get kind of back to what we were talking about there, Joey's leading SEC with 1,459 yards passing, and probably got a buck 5,200 in drops or the phantom PI and things like that. So it could really be a stretch there, but old number 2 right there, me and Coach have been talking about, and is Taylon Green of Arkansas. And you're talking about Petrino maybe holding back, he's not held back on offense that I can see, because that offense has almost put them in some games. I know that some of these games have been blowouts, but they've flashed. Like there's talent on that offensive side. And if we didn't have Joey, I'd be leaning hard trying to get Taylon in the offseason with this coaching change. That kid's special, man. He's thrown some interceptions at times, but he's an athlete that can flash, and he's right there at 1,398 yards. So that's a guy who could scare me. Is all I'm going to say.
I had a question, Coach. Oh, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, man, I feel like with that sense, like with Arkansas coming in here, man, they're going to have to like probably score like 40, 50 points, in my opinion, to beat Tennessee. Because like Dobby said, I mean, you have the SEC leader in passing yards. You have Chris Brazell leading the SEC in receiving yards. You have another top 5 wide receiver in Mike Matthews. So, I mean, with all those things coming together, man, and we talk about, you can come out there and play offense, especially with, Bobby still having the range probably there with the offense, but you had a whole completely defense overhaul staff, man. And you're going to have to come into Neyland Stadium against one of the top 5 offense in the nation, the number 1 SEC quarterback. And, I feel like Boogie's going to be able to add to his intro there of, putting cleats in the ground, because like, how does a defensive staff like that come into Neyland Stadium 2 weeks on the job and have success? Like, you being a defensive minded guy, like what is there going to be their walkthrough? Because I'm sure they're not even focusing on Tennessee. Like they're probably still doing the basics right now, being like, this is your new coach.
Keep it simple, stupid. It is what you're going to do, right? You're going to teach your new base. You're going to install your base. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's football, right? Like it's still football. But with that said, like, don't expect a ton of exotic blitzes, a ton of exotic stunts. Don't expect, a lot of like cloud bracket switch and, all kinds of wild stuff in the back end. I think they're going to keep everything in front of them. They're going to play a little bit of bend, but don't break defense. And look, Chris Wilson, he's plays against a lot of wide open spreads in his career, right? As a defensive guy, he, is a good D coordinator. Does he have enough time? No, not to deal with it. I think they're going to try to play bend but don't break. I think they're going to try to force as many field goals out of a young kicker as they possibly can. So for me, it's the name of the game is hold Tennessee to field goal attempts and set a couple traps and hope you come away with enough takeaways that you can give your offense an advantage. There's a couple things, and I'm not going to get into them on this channel. I'm just not going to do it. I know I actually caught someone else doing it on another channel, and it ticked me off. But there's a couple things that Tennessee has done. They've shown some tendencies that they need to reverse a little. Mississippi State sat on them a couple really well in that game, and had they made a couple more heads-up decisions by the players, not the coaches. The coaches had it right, but there's some things that we've done in two particular formations I can think of that it's just waiting for a problem if they continue with that tendency. And it's incumbent on Heupel and Halsey to use that. It is a tendency to get them, to bite into and then work a veer off of it. In 22, we were so good at that. I can remember that Jalen Hyatt rub touchdown against LSU in 22. Well, that was a play we'd set up 3 weeks in a row, before that we'd ran 3 times, a different variance of it. So this coaching staff needs to stay inventive. I think they've shown some tendencies a little too often now, and Mississippi State certainly keyed on them. So hopefully they are aware enough that they see that, hey, if Mississippi State picked up on these, everyone's picking up on these. So watch your traps, and hopefully we can make those adjustments.
If we can stay on this game just a little bit, almost the inverse of that is we've shown that we've give up some contain on the side, and we've shown that quarterbacks can kind of get out of the pocket sometimes, but we haven't faced an athlete like this. And it's almost, yes, he can sling the pill, but like I'm almost more worried about his feet than anything. And I know that's cliche to say, but we've just shown that we've got a good pass rush. We can get home, but these guys who can move around a little bit, get out of the pocket. And on top of that, even in the run game in general, we've given up this edge. So that's what worries me. Like when we come out and we're all guns blazing and we can get 3 and outs and get this big pass rush, it's great. But we've shown that if they can just first down us, keep the drive alive, that's the stuff that starts to worry me, because not only does that give them an extension to their drive, it keeps us off the field. So that's the scenarios that I'm just starting to – that would stress me. I'm not saying I'm worried about the game per se, but I'm just saying stressors from Talon and from that Arkansas offense would be, can his feet just keep the drives alive?
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't know what the answer to that containment thing is, but we've shown it all year.
Well, we've been, and you can watch it on the very first play of the game against Mississippi State. We've been cheating our edges inside quite a bit, actually. And I think it's to help with some of the depth that we've had inside, foul, but it can create a problem when you're trying to squeeze a play down. There are just numerous instances where we're taking that inside gap. But there's a side note to it, too. It's allowed us to get more A-gap pressure, right? And when you get that and you finally do get someone coming along the edge, it's a true blindside, like when you saw with Wes. But I think it was Joseph's that came inside on that first play and totally flat back that dude. And they've just been coming inside a lot, and they've gotten caught cheating a little bit too much inside at times, trying to take that straight line to the quarterback inside. They just need to play that gap a little more honest on running downs. And it's almost like they're cheating the passing down a little bit. And I've had this weird suspicion since early in the Mississippi State game that it might be that Tim Banks is all right with giving up a couple more edge runs at the cost of getting to the quarterback a little bit more. Sometimes as a defensive coordinator, there's choices that you make. And in football, when you take something away, the game gives something to you, and vice versa, right? So if I'm willing to surrender, that C gap a little bit to get an inside track to cause A gap pressure, to get the quarterback a little more, the more A-gap pressure, you know, the more that outside's there, the easier it is to send Boo Carter in corners and
But you should have
safeties and
somebody
linebackers on
rolling or filling there,
You
right?
should have someone on
Well,
that.
that's
You
where we've
should-
struggled.
Well,
see.
but here's the thing, though. They've made the gamble that if they're going to run there, the play that got held back for a touchdown, for instance, with Mississippi State, they assigned that outside gap not to the cornerback. They assigned that to the safety. That was safety contain on that, right? And the safety didn't make a play in space.
Right.
So,
yeah.
You know, and
I worry about him in space, man. That's going to be a hard guy to tackle.
If you're like, okay, I want to trust Turrentine to seal the edge in space, that's tough. Even Farouk, who I trust a lot more, it coming up against the run and,
He just
and
sells
laying
out
the
so
wood.
hard. It's either a smack or a whiff. Like he just sells out so hard. He's been impressive
Right.
with some of his hits, but man,
But so, and just to be clear, if you guys watch that touchdown that got taken back, the corner is holding his wide receiver, right? The edge comes in and crashes, okay? The safety comes up and is filling that space, that C-gap space between the true edge, the sideline, and the corner, and C-gap, and he goes to seal and he whiffs. So, like, the play was there. It was drawn upright for Tim Banks.
Right.
The kid didn't make a play. And I mean, sometimes that's what it, but you know, fans see that and they're just like, oh, well, they got through the edge. The guy missed the tackle. We can't tackle. We never tackle. Our defense sucks. We need to run them during practice, you know, the whole 9 yards. Right. So
now let's add a 6'6", 235-pound athlete out in space.
I say it all the time when
stress.
we do film breakdowns in here. I say it all the time. I try to point out in defensive films when guys make tackles, good tackles in open space. For those of y'all who just love the game and never played football, go grab a buddy and try to tackle them in open space.
Right.
When they have a head of steam, I promise you're gonna miss. Like I promise you're gonna miss. Unless your friend runs like retro or something like that, you know. I've heard he's got a slow 40 time anyway.
That was a nice callback.
I love you, retro. I'm just playing.
Nice
Thank you.
callback.
That was a nice channel con. But
who can have these match up that size? And, you know, like,
I just think they've made decisions to bring that edge inside, and they've relied on linebackers. Spillman also had a miss on the weak side off tackle in that game on a run that broke. So it's like they're either trusting it to the safety, that C-gap contain, or they've been trusting it to the linebacker. And there's just been times where we've either taken a poor angle, missed the tackle, or over pursued. And, you know, to the other team's credit, they've had good enough blocking on those plays, you know, to affect us. Georgia was a little bit different. Like I said, in the Georgia game, I thought that they had a numbers advantage in the box, and that's why I came in so hot after that game and was yelling about people not being able to count. Because if I can count 10 in the box and you got 7 in the box, and you're getting ran on 13 plays in a row, Coach Jay's going to come in hot and be pissed off that we're not matching that in the box. Because your first duty as a defensive coordinator is to stop the run. Period. I don't care if Tom Brady's back there as quarterback. If you can't stop the run, you might as well walk off the damn football field.
100%.
I got to catch up with the chat. Then I want to come back to yeah. It became the I don't know what just happened there. We're breaking down Arkansas in the bye week.
Breaking down the Mississippi State C-gap film.
Tyler Harrison has been a member for 18 months, as I can see us going 11-1, and not just because I'm a big Vol fan, but because I've been watching the teams we play, and they all look beatable. We lose if we beat ourselves. Let's go Vols. Calvin, the Orange Man for 5. Once we went out the rest of the season, Dauber needs to sing Rocky Top on a live stream. Didn't JP do that? Didn't that actually happen? Or did it happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear that.
I mean, we'll make it happen, Calvin. We can make that happen. Big Kahuna. joined the channel, became a member. We appreciate you. I think we're like 33. We got a long way to go in a short time to get there. 33 memberships away from some free merch. Shout out Big Kahuna. We appreciate you. Sean for 2. Is anybody fired yet over there? I'm tired of it. Maybe soon. Maybe we'll fire somebody during the bye week, make some people happy. Tennessee Tonto over 5. But Coach Jay gets his team. I'm listening. Wait. I bet he meant once Coach Jay gets his team. I'm listening to every press conference. I could listen to you all talk ball all day. Let me tell you something. That. Coach Jay's not going to talk ball if he's the head ball coach and he's getting interviewed. He's gonna talk in circles just like Josh Heupel does. Big Kahuna drops an Orange Boy. That's a 20 spot. Top donation of the night and the short month. What? It's the first day of the month. New leaderboard. Let's play the clip.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Shout out Big Kahuna for 20. Been a bum. Boogie, haven't paid my door fees or been a member. Here's some back pay. Shout out Big Kahuna. I appreciate that. Hey, you guys aren't you're required to pay anything, but I do appreciate it. I am grateful. But if you don't have it, don't give it. Just hang out and talk a little Tennessee football with us. But shout out Big Kahuna. We appreciate you, my man. I wanted to go back to this. And I didn't really have it on my bingo card that Foul Ming was going to lust over Talon Green tonight. I didn't have that on my bingo card, but
that's
here we are.
One, so I have
but it fits. Why are you starting? Dude, there are people in the chat going, is Green entering the portal? What is that? You have convinced the chat that he's in the portal and that we're taking him. Like you started this. You started
confirmed,
what?
Baby, confirmed.
Friday? I think you started this crap Friday. You are in love.
Actually, look up. Somebody started it the other.
I did start. This was me. I agree.
but I'm on board. I'm on board.
I was merely suggesting that we get a coach on a plane to Oakland and go just taking a football game. That's all I'm saying.
Well, let's talk about this Heisman list because you brought up Joey Aguilar, and you were like, "Yeah, Joey's fine." But let me talk about my favorite quarterback in the SEC, and then we went down that love fest. But I will say, Green. How many other quarterbacks are you guys in love with? Green. I will say this: when I looked at this list, and what started it all, the video I made today, because Greg McElroy dropped his top 20 quarterbacks, and Joey Aguilar wasn't even on the list. But I was surprised that Green wasn't on this list. Like he's not really getting any love either. But Scoops, what are your thoughts on this? And I get it. Statistically, numbers-wise, if you just looked at it on paper and didn't watch the Mississippi State game, you see the 2 picks from Joey. Maybe you sleep on him a little bit this week. But the reality is those 2 picks weren't really on him. He led the game-winning drive. You look up what are the factors in the Heisman Trophy, and it's talking about story and character and leadership and winning moments. Man, what better moment than leading your team in the last drive of regulation to tie the dang game?
Yeah, people are referring to that drive as like the drive, to, like, trying to just talk about how clutch he was, man. Like being like in that scenario, all the pressure on you, being cool, calm, and collected, going out there and finding your guys. I think these guys have to be definitely looking like analytics wise and not watching the game. They see that 5 interceptions and they're like, oh, he still has that interception issue. But I mean, maybe 1 or 2 now. That one of those balls to Kitzelman this past week was maybe high. The other one was right. Both hit his hands. The saying, if it hits your hands, you got to come down with it. The SEC passing yards leader is tied there for touchdowns with Pavia 2. And you see Pavia at number 3, but you have Joey Football nowhere to be found. You have Talon Green on this list as well. I mean, overall, man, those 2 guys are the top 2 passing quarterbacks in the conference. It's just, I don't know if these guys are really watching ball. The on-3 poll, kind of questionable to me, but multiple polls, like you said, man, Greg, no Joey Aguilar, no Talon Green. If you're looking at like a betting man with Vegas, you'll find them there, but they're still behind, quarterbacks like Pavia, Mateer, Trinidad Chambliss, who's, very, just getting off his feet, man. It was kind of shocking to me to not see, Talon Green or Joey there, just given their success so far in this year. And I mean, if Max Gilbert hits that kick, is Joey not, top 5 on this list? If we, have a clock, take care of our clock issues. If we somehow come out with that Georgia win, is Joey not, top 5 on this list? I mean, I feel like the media on the outside looking in is not seeing what we're seeing as Tennessee fans, that this guy has come in post-spring and what he's been able to do, the leadership he's had to have this team around him, and also the way he's been able to make, Chris Brazzell, Mike Matthews, and Braylon Staley just look like absolute studs when we were told there was no talent in this wide receiver room. I mean, I was kind of shocked that he's not on that list.
Dobber, how much do you put it? Like we've been talking a lot about what has to happen the rest of the season, and if I think Joey's going to be considered, if he's going to be a finalist, right? If he's even going to go to New York, you gotta run the table. You got to go 11-1. But I Googled it just to see what popped up for the Heisman Trophy. Outstanding performance, must have an exceptional season, often leading their team to success. Scoop touched on it. I touched on it this morning. He's leading the conference in passing yards, and he's leading the conference in passing touchdowns. What more do you want from a quarterback? Integrity and sportsmanship. Must show good character and conduct themselves with integrity on and off the field. Give me a better story than Joey Aguilar and what we've seen about his character and who he is as a person. And then the last one was diligence and perseverance, says they typically embody hard work, dedication, and the ability to overcome challenges. Do we want to talk about the City College of San Francisco? Do we want to talk about Diablo Valley College? Do we want to talk about App State to UCLA to Knoxville? Dobber, there's not a better story than this one if we're talking about Heisman. To not be on the top 10 this early it's comical.
I mean, but isn't it to be expected? I mean, the national media, the bias towards Tennessee across the board, that's been there, and I think it continues to be there. Look back a couple of years ago, Hooker should have at least been invited to New York.
Hold on. Let me cut you off for 2 seconds real quick. The chat's saying one thing in common is all these teams are undefeated. You mentioned Hooker, and he should have been in New York. What did they say, Dobber? What was their excuse? Because he got hurt and didn't play against Vanderbilt. Well, let's look at number 2 on the list, who's going to be out for the next month. Come on.
Yep. I mean, it's kind of comical. And I guess it is probably a combination of, these guys are probably just looking at, highlights or the stats after a game and not watching the full game, not seeing the command of the offense, not seeing how things are clicking, and just the change that his presence has made for how this team is operating offensively now. You go from last year, frankly, struggling to score points against SEC teams to putting up 40 plus against Georgia. It's things like that, but it's still, it's hard to compare year to year, and person to person. And frankly, it's almost like a preseason poll. Who cares after week 5 what On3 says, their top 10 Heisman people are? There's going to be a lot change between now and the end of the season. And I'll be damn sure if Joey plays the way he's played and they do run the table, he's going to be right up there.
I don't see how you argue him not going. If he keeps putting up the numbers he's putting up, he's.
Sorry, guys. I'm going to be a voice of dissent here. I'm just messing. Just had to see your guys.
He is on pace.
I'm just messing with you.
Statistics wise, like numbers wise, he's on pace to put up more yards, more touchdowns than Hendon. And if you run the table, like the story, I mean, Fowl's been saying it. You've been saying it for weeks now. 30 for 30. It writes itself. So if he's there statistically and Tennessee's 11-1, how in the world do you not send him to New York? Like, I'm not saying he should win it. I'm not claiming that. He should be there in New York if he keeps on track.
Yeah, I don't see any possibility why he shouldn't be there. And I'm not going out on a limb by saying he shouldn't win it. I think he could win it. I mean, if you stay on pace, you're playing an SEC schedule. You got you're leading in all these statistical categories. You got the story. I mean, the story shouldn't matter. I agree as a football guy, the story shouldn't matter, but it does. He just so happens to have that too. So there's no reason why he shouldn't be there. And if Tennessee stays on pace, there's no reason why he couldn't win it. And for that matter, why ain't Brazel on anybody's list?
Yeah.
I mean, the guys out here leading in touchdowns, second for yardage, and with you take away the phantom PI, it might even be higher. I mean, I don't know if that's enough to make him leading, but it's another 60, right? I don't know.
Wait,
So,
he's leading the conference in receiving yards, leading the conference in or tied for touchdowns for receiving touchdowns, I think.
I was just looking nationally.
So Chris Bradshaw right now is first in FBS in receiving touchdowns, second in FBS in receiving yards, 12th in FBS in catches, third in FBS in 10-plus yard receptions. And there's like an asterisk on if talking about Joey and Bradshaw, man, like there's an asterisk just because of the OPI, certain plays, even in the UAB and Georgia game, man. Like there's if Joey has this big of a lead right now in passing yards, and like we're talking about him being on top of the conference and yards and touchdowns, and Bradshaw being in the top with yards and touchdowns, imagine if those plays come back in Tennessee's favor, because we saw that angle, man. And I know, like, I don't want to bring up a bad memory, but if you call on that OPI, there's no way. Like that we're talking about, that's at that point, man, with the season we're having right now, and I know it's us being Tennessee fans unhappy with that call, but these guys are playing out of their mind, lights out. And at that point, you're messing with their money next year. Like it's
and the only stat you can bring up against Bradshaw is going to say total catches. Well, that's because he's making all these splash plays. He don't have to make 14 catches to get down the field. He needs one. So I mean, you want highlight reels? Look at Joey. Look at Chris. I mean, I don't know what the national media needs. And you want a comeback story? Look where Bradshaw came from. Okay, he's worked his way up. Now he's splashing out here. So we can't say it. As Tennessee fans, we just can't say it because it's not going to matter. And we're yelling into a void, and people's going to say you're biased and all this stuff because we are. But you got to take away, if he's playing at Ohio State or if he's playing at Texas or he's playing wherever, these guys will be on the list. It's time somebody that's not a Tennessee fan, not in Tennessee media, brings up these facts. It's like, what are you doing? Why? And it's not. Don't do it for us. These kids deserve it. These kids
it's like
work their ass off. Give it to them.
It's some Joe Blow announce team on the SEC network that's telling Joey's story because it's the Tennessee game, right? It's game day doing it, but why are they doing it? Because they're in Knoxville. That's the only reason that Joey's story got told on game day. It's not like, again, like if you're at Ohio State, that it doesn't matter where they're at. They're going to tell your quarterback story. They're going to talk about you week in and week out. But for Joey, it's because we're in Knoxville. We need to find Knoxville content, Tennessee content to put on the show this week because game day is on Rocky Top.
And remind me, did Game Day air that story, or did SEC Network air that story? Because it was
Game
a Marty
Day
McGee thing.
Game Day.
Okay.
Game Day.
So
aired it.
why aren't I mean, that should have opened up a lot of people's eyes. I don't understand why more people aren't talking about it. I mean, I'm not going to get into it. Like, it's just, we can talk about it all day long, but it's crazy. It's crazy. How often do you have something that statistically he should be there, but also this story is unbelievable. It's
right. Like the story's part of it, right? If
And-
the story's there and his numbers are garbage, then I get it. But when it's both, it's a softball, man. It's laid right up for you.
Yes. So is it on Heupel for not like ringing the bells enough? I mean, I know that sounds stupid, but you got these other, like if it was Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss, he'd be yelling at the top of his lungs on every social media thing, "Look at my quarterback!" kind
If
of
it
thing.
was Shane Beamer,
And I'm not saying we should do that because that's not our style. But like, is that what it takes? Is that what it takes to get these people noticed?
Go to. Sorry, Dauber. I was gonna say, let's go to 2022. Look at the stats, and like Dauber, you can speak on it, man. Like 2022 Hyatt, we talk about Jalen Hyatt and the year him and Hooker had. What Joey and Bradshaw are doing right now is I'm pretty sure they're already above that pace, man. Like what they're doing, you talk about, statistically on the field, Josh Heupel wants it on the field. They're even better human beings, and like it's just crazy to me, dog.
Yeah, the thing I was gonna say is, to me, everything Boogie read. Describing the Heisman, and I assume that was from the Heisman.
No, shout out AI. I do. AI's a boss.
Anyway, the Heisman today is none of that. It's a popularity contest, man.
Yeah.
It does not reward the best players in college football. The best players in college football, what do they bring? 5, 4 there to New York?
3, 4.
What is it? I think it's 4.
You can go back and look, man. It's the media darlings. It's guys from teams that the media loves, that they want to pump up. Look at who votes for the Heisman. You know, it's some former winners and a bunch of journalists.
I could vote for the Heisman.
You know,
yeah. You know, though, you could make the argument that, you know, Brazel's pumping up his numbers. He's making Joey look better, whereas Diego Pavia makes everyone else look great around him. You know what I'm saying, guys?
Let's talk about Matthew's
someone
numbers.
like
Then.
Diego.
Let's talk about Staley's numbers then.
I'm sorry, I'm just trolling.
Who is this guy? Who is this guy? Who is this guy over here?
Just trolling.
Right there. Who is this guy?
California's creeping in.
He all of a sudden doesn't know how to do a Wednesday show. He's like,
that's an LA reporter. That's an LA reporter if I've ever seen.
He doesn't have his grade A grounds coffee. He's like,
I don't
know how to have a show.
necessarily watch the games or.
I've got to go hit this real quick.
that's how we
Tennessee
do it.
Tonto for 2 says they'll drop us to number 18 for having a bye. Wouldn't surprise
Probably.
me at all. Noah Snell gifted 5 Talkin VAWLS memberships. That's how we get a little rally going with the memberships. We're still 28 away, but if a couple more people gifted 5 Talkin VAWLS memberships, we could maybe give away some free merch. Shout out Noah, we appreciate you, man. Membership, it's working. We're putting on more steam. We're gaining members with this channel, and we appreciate your all support. We're an hour into this thing. If you haven't done it yet, and I bet you have, do I need to go look? Do I need to go check? Because I don't trust you all. I do not trust you all in the chat. You come in here and you say, oh, I love what y'all do, but you don't hit the thumbs up. And I'm going to go look right now because I don't trust you. Only 133 people. 133 people. 2 of you hit thumbs down. 2 of you got so mad at Dauber for something he said that you hit the thumbs down. Yes. Oh, it was Coach. You're right. It was Coach Jay talking about injuries, and now he's talking about Chris Brazel and padding stats.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Foul got one. One's for foul.
I talked too much about our next opponent. Like that was just so far-fetched, so far down the road, we can't bring up our next opponent.
See, I would say it was former hosts, but if it was former hosts that have their own shows, it'd be like 7 thumbs down now. But I digress. I shouldn't have said that. What am I talking about? Tennessee Tonto for another 2 says they still making us pay for the Shiano protest. Shiano Sunday. I think we covered that on this channel back in the day. I'm pretty sure.
It was an amazing day.
Sorry, Boogie, go ahead.
Ken Faircloth has been a member for a month. Shout out, Ken. We appreciate you. What I was going to say before I got derailed, only 133 people have hit the thumbs up. We've got 250 people watching live. Just hit the thumbs up. It's quick. It's free. And it's easy. See, just like that, we got 148. If I yell and scream at you guys, if you'll shut up, I'll hit the thumbs up. Let's see where we're at now. Did we make it? Oh, somebody click thumbs down. Oh, they went from 148 to 147 and a thumbs down. All right, I'm going to keep screaming at you guys. Actually, I'm not. What I'm going to do is promote some merchandise because I'm trying to give away some free Talkin VAWLS merchandise. But if you don't want free merch, you can go buy merch at bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. TN theme merchandise. Check this out. It's on a Nike hat, or you can get a flat bill hat, or I'm still trying to get Foul Ming to get a bucket hat. I think it just
somebody in the chat buy me one. I will absolutely wear it on here.
Do it right now. I mean, you heard it here first. Sunday night. Actually, it won't be Sunday nights now. It's going to be
Gotta
Wednesday
get some
nights.
cool like fishing hook lures in the bucket hat if he gets it. You know what
I
I mean?
don't have to walk far to find a fishing hook, so we'll be fine around here.
Right down to the gas station.
Right, I gotta fill up.
Right down to the
100
gas
yards.
station. Got a whole jar of them. Buy 2, get the third one free. Bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. Rivalry shirts, parody shirts, whatever you want. We got it. Somebody just picked up the camo hoodie. I can't remember who it was. Tweeted it out. I appreciate you guys. The link is also in the description below. If you're like Coach Jay and you forget, there's a link there. There's also a link there to join the channel. If you're on an iPhone and that join button doesn't show up, you can click that link in the description below. But we appreciate you guys, and we appreciate the support. We got another gifted memberships. Ken gifted 5 more Talkin VAWLS memberships. We're now 23 away. 23. You guys are starting to make me nervous, like you might actually get there, and we're going to have to give away some free merchandise. 23 away. Get in where you fit in. We appreciate you guys. If you don't have a Power T beside your name, they say that you are a Georgia fan. All right, we took away that thumbs down. We added it back to a thumbs up. I appreciate you guys. Let's tie a big fat bow on this thing. Obviously, we talked a lot about Joey. We talked about Chris Brazel. Let's kind of anybody else on this team, Coach Jay, that kind of surprised you with where you're at. And we can kind of open it up to who you're going to have your eyes on maybe in the back half of this season.
I expected Colton Hood to be really good, but not as good as he's been, which is just a testament to how he's been. I think everyone with Ty Redmond. Yeah. I definitely think that. Yeah, I'm going to go with those and leave some meat on the bone for everyone else.
Scoops, who you got?
This past Saturday, man, it really opened my eyes up to the edges, man. The young edges and Tyree West, Caleb Herring. Those guys they were feasting, man, getting the shaping, making his life a living heck. Like it was absolutely crazy to see. But I think the most important thing, man, is just seeing the jump that, Brazel's taken so far. And we talk about it, obviously, but just to give him the credit, we talked about year 1 in the system, the year 2 in the system, and that narrative is definitely working for him, man. For him to just get in the Blitnikoff Award, like rankings, the fan vote today, he wasn't even in like the top 10 until today. That's absolutely mind-blowing to me. That guy is the best wide receiver in the SEC and the best wide receiver in the country. So, I mean, if he keeps up on this pace, man, honestly, I feel like we're not targeting him enough. Like I want 5 more targets for Brazel each game, just because he is a guy that can go up and get that ball. He can make these plays. So I think he's earned himself some more reps. But yeah, man, you talk about Colton Hood, Brazel, those guys. The fact that we're here right now, we're doing pretty good for a team that was ranked the 9th best team in the SEC preseason.
Isn't it wild? Like, to say that Brazel needs to be targeted more. I think he was targeted 8 times. I think it was 8 in the Mississippi State game. Had 6 catches, 105 yards, and a touchdown. And then the OPI, like how much more impressive would
he couldn't catch the ball last year.
Yeah,
we don't got to beat around the bush.
Why is that?
Ball last year.
Everybody says year 2 in the system, you take a step.
Tillman. Hi.
Even still, man.
Brew McCoy.
Hyatt is talking about, hey, I wasn't handling business. I wasn't going about practice right. He sat under the learning tree. He asked Bayless Jones, what did you do to take that next step? He took it serious at that point. I can register that. I can understand that. I can understand if you tell me, hey, from year 1 to year 2, it takes time for them to kind of grasp the offense and really shine in it. Catching the ball, coach? How do you I don't know how to catch this year, but I do this the second year.
And I don't get this comment. Maybe help me. And God, we've talked it to death. But how could it be because of Nico? Like,
the same way it was because of Joe.
Because of Joey? Like
the same way it was because of Joe. I screamed about the drops from Joe for the whole season. Catch the ball. Period.
If I can attempt to put some rational thought to it, could it be that once you're more comfortable in the system, you can think less and just play? Is it almost like you're thinking 3 steps down the field instead of just catching the damn ball?
I said that all after last year. When you're a wide receiver and you're setting, and you don't know A, if the ball's coming to you, B, if the quarterback's just going to get sacked, C, if the quarterback's not going to be able to throw it because he's going to be running for his life, D, it's going to get overthrown. Or they're just going to run it. Yeah, it's impossible to get into a rhythm.
Worried about this option route and try to read a defense instead of.
That was. I mean, there's been a couple fixes betwixt that, and our overthrows one of those fixes. Yeah, but also the offensive line being able to keep Joey clean is another big fix in that, and then the other stuff obviously comes into place.
No.
The what?
Forget it, Dauber. Shut up.
Hey, someone asked. So I answered. For the fans, by the fans, Dauber. I don't control where it goes.
I try to, Dauber.
I guess.
I got to take this show back over.
All right. Oh, we got somebody else. I mean, we can talk about what about Jack Van Dorslayer? How about, somebody who we thought would shine down the road, but is caught up to speed much faster than I expected. I mean, we've seen him flash in the spring, but my biggest thing that impressed me the most with him has been able to hold his own and blocking as a freshman in the SEC. That's impressive to me from a young guy.
Yeah. I think I'm going to read, not to toot my own little horn here. Trust me, we all know there's plenty of times where I can be wrong. Is as well documented whenever you get up here on Talkin VAWLS and state your opinion. But yeah, man, I think I'm going to repost that Van Dorslayer film breakdown because I feel like I was on something there. I feel like I was on to it.
Let me get a
happy
couple
about
in the
that.
chat, Red Hill, real quick. Simon Master for 5 says, I feel as Jalen McMurray isn't appreciated enough.
Sure.
Do you guys agree? And how much better would he be if he was playing on the outside? Like, I think he's done well in the Star, but it's like he was asked to move there because Boo Carter, right, didn't handle his business. So, yeah, I definitely agree with that. Vols Girl gifted 10 Talkin Vols memberships. That is not cheap. Shout out Vols Girl. We appreciate you. Wayne also gifted a Talkin Vols membership. Shout out Wayne. We are 12 memberships away from some free merch. Dauber, who is there anybody left on the roster that you want to talk about?
You know, I mean, I'll throw a couple obviouses out there. You know, Joey, the way he's played, there you can't say enough about a guy that came in late and is running the offense the way he is. Arion Carter on the defensive side of the ball has just been playing like a stud all over the field, making tackles.
Another dude leading the conference in tackles.
But my big point that Coach Jay stole was I was gonna talk about this offensive line. After he gave his point, he took another point. To me, the offensive line was going to be a question going into the season, particularly coming out of last year. That was part of the problem that this offense struggled with last year. You know, in combination with receivers dropping the ball, I think at times not getting separation, and then quarterback play. So it's funny how you change one or two little things, and it's you know, start playing complementary football. Your offensive line is better. Your quarterback play is better. Your quarterback play is better.
Do a lot of Vol fans owe Coach Ellerby an apology?
I mean, maybe. I mean, hell, I saw something the other day. I saw something yesterday. Oh well, let's fire Ellerby. Bring Pittman back.
Oh
God!
Oh
my gosh!
You know, I mean, it's,
do you think it's just those type of comments trigger us so much? And when I say us, I mean me. Man. I think it sets me. It's like how in the world can anybody question? And I questioned going into the year. I thought it was a prove it year for Glenn Ellerby, right? He's recruited well. It's a prove it year. It was a prove it year for Kelsey Pope. Now Chris Brazel's out there looking like the man. Yep. Mike Matthews is coming along. Braylon's coming along. I know he struggled at times Saturday, but made a big time play late in the game for you. No, we're not questioning. Yes, they're an idiot. We're not firing Glenn Ellerby, and a lot of people do owe him an apology. And now they're ready to fire Tim Banks, right? The same people that were going to fire Joey Halsley are now saying he's the greatest offensive coordinator on God's green earth, but they want to fire Tim Banks. Like
they wanted to fire Banks every year, and all he's done is put out a better scoring defense. You know, and bring in dudes, and the defense just keeps getting better. Now,
touchdowns, man.
I mean, how about the read on Jesse Perry? I mean, how many people nationally was trying to get Jesse Perry, and now all of a sudden he's one of the best young linemen in the SEC.
Fowler, are we sliding him inside and keeping 100%. Sanders at tackle?
100%.
And how much better can this offensive line get is what's scary to think about, right? Yeah. Like, because I think it can get better. I think Dave is a better run blocking tackle than Perry is, and Perry is a better run blocking guard than he was.
That's the key for me is Perry to Sham. Compare Perry to Sham. Who's better shade there?
Sham, but that's the big pickup.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Sham is good, but he's got some lateral movement issues that he hasn't quite corrected yet with his feet. That it is not an issue with Dave or with Perry. So it's like Sham's good. Don't get me wrong. I think he's great. You know, I was high on him last year. I thought he could have been starting before he got injured last year. I just got a couple, and once again, we're fine-tooth combing it. He's just got a couple little more holes, little hitches in his swing, if you will, than Perry and Dave do with their feet.
What a good problem to have, though, right?
Yeah.
What a good argument to have. In the past, we've like struggled to put 5 out there at times. So now we're saying like, well, which one's a fraction better here? Which one's a fraction better there? I'll take it all day.
And even shifting them, man, playing them in different positions.
I'll say that preseason 5 for the O-line is probably what you see next week. To see David come out there, man, on the first play, smack himself in the head. We've been talking about it, behind the show before we start the show all week about how much he wants to play. That kid was fired up. First assignment, pull block, absolutely smacks the kid. Second play, gets his first pancake in play, man. That guy was absolutely fired up, and I think that's going to be the best O-line for us, having David there, sliding Jesse to the guard. But, man, people talking about, fire Ellerby, bring Pittman. If you think Sam Pittman can come in and teach the Josh Heupel scheme, the X's and O's, and all the fundamentals that Glenn Ellerby is doing for these gaps and this communication, man, I've talked to some of those guys on that line, man. It is a different kind of mental game, and no coach like Sam Pittman is going to be able to comprehend what Josh Heupel and Ellerby are doing. I'll just say that.
I'll take him as an analyst all day long.
That's
I ain't taking him as an offensive line coach. Hey, we're going to tie a big fat bow on this mid-season edition of Talkin Vols Live. Again, we're going to take the weekend off. Still going to have videos coming out your way. Got one coming up tomorrow. I'll be on Locked On Vols Friday morning like I always am. No live stream this weekend. We'll come back Sunday night. We're shifting the schedule. And as soon as we can make the announcement, we will make the announcement. We got to handle some business behind the scenes, but we're going to go ahead and rotate the schedule. That's how confident I am that this thing is happening. So Sunday, EA Sports College Football, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Going to be every Sunday the rest of the way. Monday morning, we'll be live with Eric Kane at 9 a.m. Tuesday, I'm hoping we go live at 8 p.m. Eastern Time with a banger. Put it on your calendar. If it ain't this Tuesday, it's going to be next Tuesday. Tennessee Tonto with a 5 on the way out the door says this whole coaching staff, since Josh Heupel took over, we have been nothing but 3 steps forward, 1 step back. Nothing to complain about. Yeah, how are you going to complain? We're looking at averaging 10 wins for 4 straight years. It is good to be a Tennessee Vol. We're going to get out the door. If you haven't hit the thumbs up, do that. If you're not a member, hit that join button. Go check out the merchandise, bonfire.com/store/Talkin Vols. For Coach Jay, for Dauber, for Scoops, for Foul Ming, my name is Boogie Bentley. This is the Talkin Vols Network. Go Big Orange.
That we call home, and it's night and I'm alone and I'm alive.